Hi, good morning, students. Welcome back for the session 4, chapter number 1 for the first PUC. So, after evolutions of the computer, the next topic in this particular chapter is very important, that is generations of the computer. In which year, which is the device is invented, and what is the property of that particular invented device, how it will work, all these things we'll discuss in this particular topic, that is generations of the computer. So dear students, if I coming to the first generations of the computer, the first generations of the computer in the year 1940 to 1956 is the year. Remember the year, once again I am repeating, 1940 to 1956 is the year, and the invented device is vacuum tubes. And the invented device is vacuum tubes. Vacuum tube is a particular device used to stores or used to memory for the computer. It acting as a to storage data, that is what we call as vacuum tube. So we have some characteristics of the vacuum tube. In this particular generation, what are the properties? See, let us one by one. These types of the vacuum tubes are used for the switching circuits, and magnetic drums are used. Magnetic drums are a type of the devices used to store the data again. So this is also one type of the storage medium where we will store the data. So that is also one type of the storage material. So that is magnetic drums, vacuum tubes. And second, if we be coming to the size of the computer, that is very large in size and produces more heat. When operating of these kinds of the computers, especially vacuum tubes that are large in size, if we coming to the physical size of the computers that are very large and also produce more heat while it is operating. So that is also a one property of the vacuum tube. It is a larger in size and also produces a lot of heat. Then it is very expensive and consumes large amount of electricity. It is in a very expensive because it is a larger in size and it is very expensive. Not only it is expensive and also it produces heat and also it consumes more electricity. It consumes more electricity to operate. So this is a kind of the device, it consumes the more electricity. So that is what expensive and consumes large amount of electricity. And final characteristic of the vacuum tube is, vacuum tube in this kinds of the generation, it will solve the problem, maximum one problem at a time. But you know, recent generations of the computers will solve the problems, so many problems at one single time. But this is an older generations of the computer solves a problem, a single problem at a time. So this is the characteristics of the vacuum tubes. So after ENIAC, the second device is EDVAC. So in the EDVAC, if I want to abbreviate EDVAC, electronic discrete variable automatic computer. Once again I will repeat, EDVAC, electronic discrete variable automatic computer, that is EDVAC. So this is also a device used to store the data. Compared to the ENIAC, it is somewhat advanced. It is more advanced than ENIAC. How? See, let us see one by one. It has more internal space. Of course, compared to the ENIAC device, EDVAC has a more internal space. More internal space means it will store a large amount of data compared to the ENIAC. And memory was provided through mercury delay lines. how the memory was produced, how the memory was provided in this particular EDVAC. The memory was provided through mercury delay lines. Through mercury delay lines, the particular type of the memory was developed. And also for the EDVAC, it has on and off switching ability for the memory. It was required because it deals with the not decimal numbers, it deals with the binary numbers, so it needs on and off of the switching ability for the memory was required. So these are all some properties of EDVAC. ENIAC, EDVAC. For your examination, they may ask what are all the characteristics of EDVAC, what are all the characteristics of ENIAC. Like that, we have one more last device, that is UNIVAC. If I want to abbreviate UNIVAC, Universal Automatic Computer. Once again, UNIVAC, Universal Automatic Computer. Here also we have some properties of the UNIVAC computers. See, it was the first commercial computer. Up to now, what in first generation vacuum tubes, ENIAC and EDVAC, these are all not a commercial computers. But here onwards, that UNIVAC computers, when we are introduced in the US, this is the first computer, first commercial computer. We will call the first commercial computer. Which one? UNIVAC is the first commercial computer, and it is invented in, of course, US, and it is more advanced than. It is more advanced than both ENIAC and EDVAC computers. This is a third type of the computer. It stores the data. Compared to the ENIAC and EDVAC, it is a more advanced, and also this is the first commercial computer invented in the US. So these are all some properties of the first generations of the computer. Now we will go for the second generations of the computer and what are all the properties. Coming to the second generations of the computer, the second generation device is a transistors. Then if I come into the year 1956 to 1963 is a year the second generations are invented. The transistor is a device. See, compared to the vacuum tubes, transistors also stores the data, but it has some different properties. Vacuum tubes larger in size. When we are seeing physically, that is around one room size. That is vacuum tubes, ENIAC, EDVAC computers are used. But when we are comparing transistors with the vacuum tubes, that are very smaller in size, most reliable, very faster, convenient. So transistor size is somewhat reduced than vacuum tube. So these are all some properties of the transistors. Let us see the second generation characteristics. So in the second generations of the computers, instead of vacuum tubes, transistors are used. Of course, instead of vacuum tubes, transistors are used. Transistors also used to store the data. Then size of the computers becomes very smaller. Size of the computers will becomes very smaller, faster and more effective and more efficient and more reliable in nature. So these are all the properties of transistors in the second generations of the computer. See, size of the computer becomes smaller compared to the vacuum tubes. Transistor size computers are smaller and faster. It works more faster than vacuum tube, more efficient and more reliable also. So these are all the second generation properties. Sizes is reduced, it will work very faster than vacuum tubes, more eminent, more efficient and also reliable in nature. Then for punched cards, input and output, it moves from the use of machine to assembly level language. For the input and output operations, the punched cards, it will move from machine to assembly level language or assembly language. So this is also one property of the second generation computers. And very importantly, in the second generations of the computer, these two high level languages are introduced, that are COBOL and Fortran. COBOL and Fortran are the high-level languages are developed in the second generations of the computer during 1956 to 1963. So these are all some properties of second generations of the computer. Remember the device, transistor is a device for the second generation of the computer. During the duration 56 to 1963, it is when we are comparing a physical size with a vacuum tube, it is very smaller, faster, efficient, reliable, and also these types of the computers are very small in physical size. And also during this period, COBOL and Fortran are the high level languages are developed. So this is about second generations of the computer. Now let us move for the third generations of the computer. Generations of the computer. If I moving to the third generations of the computer, third generation in the year 1964 to 1971, the third generation computers are evolved. So which is the third generation device? That is integrated circuits, ICs, also called as ICs. Integrated circuits are the devices introduced in the generations of the third during the year 1964 to 1971. Then what are the properties of third generation devices? See one by one. So in the third generations of the computer, silicon chips are used to make of the ICs. To manufacturing of the ICs, we are using a silicon chips. Silicon chips, when we are using the silicon chip, it will increase the speed of the computer. It will increase the efficiency of the computer. So this is the property of the silicon chip. See, silicon chips increases the speed of and efficiency of the computer. When we are using the silicon chips, compared to the vacuum tube and transistor, integrated chips are work more speed, more efficient than these two devices. So that's why? Because we are using the silicon chips. So that is the one property of the silicon chip. And if I come into the in this generation, for the input and output operation, we are using keyboard and monitors. See, keyboard and monitors are used for the I/O operation. For input and output operation, some devices are using keyboard and especially monitor. Keyboard is used for the input operation and monitor is used for the output operation. These are all the two devices used in this particular generation. Up to now, we are not at all using any devices for the input and output operation, but when in the third generations of the computer, for the input we are using keyboard, for output operation we are using monitors. And also computers are interfaces with operating system. Up to now the computers are operated, but when we are using from the third generation, computers are interfaces, computers are communicating with the operating system. For why? To solve the problems. To solve the problems, computers are interface, computers are communicate with the operating system. Very important characteristic that is introduces in the third generations of the computer, because computers also having a communication with operating system, then used to solve the problems. So this is the property of the third generations of the computer. In the year 1971 to present, up to 2020, we will call all the devices are the fourth generation and fifth generation devices. So in this particular fourth generation device, that is a microprocessor. Microprocessor is a device that is invented in the fourth generations of the computer. So then what are all the properties? See, thousands of ICs, thousands of integrated circuits were built on the single silicon chip. In the last generation we discussed, silicon chip is a property that is used in the integrated chips. It will increase the speed of the computer, it will increase the efficiency of the computer, and it will increase the reliability of the computer. So that is the property of the silicon chip. So after the third generation, in the fourth generation, small computer becomes more powerful. Of course, when the generations are increasing, automatically the size of the computers are reduced. The size of the computers are little bit smaller, and smaller computers becomes more powerful, reliable, linked together from the network. So when the physical size is reduced, automatically the speed of the computer and the reliability of the nature of the computer is increased, and it will becomes a more powerful. That's why automatically when the generations are increased, the physical size is also reduced. Then in this particular generation, which tends to invent the internet, when the physical size of the computers are reduced, it will becomes when the more powerful, when it will becomes the more reliable, automatically it leads to invent the internet. So from the fourth generation itself, the internet concept are introduces. So these are all the properties of fourth generations of the computer. So if I coming to the last generations of the computer, that is fifth generation of the computer. So these devices are usually we will call that is an AI based devices, that are artificial intelligence. These devices will work like a human being. It has an intelligence. So what are all the devices and what are all the properties of these devices in this particular generation, that are fifth generations of the computers. So in the fifth generation of the computers, almost all the devices is work with AI based artificial intelligence, and especially SLSIC, super large scale integrated chips, are used in the fifth generations of the computer, and they will have AI based artificial intelligence based devices. That means, what do you mean by artificial intelligence? So nowadays, if you have an idea about mobile, so mobile is not only a one electronic device. Mobile that will be interact with the human being. When you are asking a question like a Google Assistant or a Bixby or Amazon Alexa, some features, some applications are there. You have a chance to interact with that particular electronic device. If you having a chance to ask the question, automatically the device will respond to you. So this is the property of fifth generation devices, which will be interact with the human being. It will communicate like a human being. That's why intelligence. But that intelligence, that is not in a natural, that is an artificial, that is a pre-made. Okay, that is an artificial, that is not a natural, that is artificial intelligence. That's why this type of the technology is what we called as AI based, artificial intelligence based. Then they have an image and graph recognition property. In the fifth generations of the computer, these type of the computer having a property of recognitions of the images and graphs. Graphs and images both are a multimedia objects. It having a chance to recognize these kinds of the devices. So that's also one property. They have a chance to image and graph recognition, and also in the fifth generations of the computer, it will solve high complex problem. It will solve high complex problem, and it will have a chance to decision making and also logical reasoning. These three are the very important concepts for the solving one problem. So it will solve the more complex problem, it having a logical reasoning, and also it having a property of decision making. So this is a property of the fifth generations of the computer. And it will work more than one CPU for faster processing speed. It works like a more than one CPU. Means when you are using this type of the computer, it will act like a more than one CPU. That means a more than one CPU means it works like a 2 or 3 computers together. Means that much speed in this particular generations of the computers or fifth generation computers are working. And it will be work with natural language. It will be work with natural language. Fifth, that's why this is what we call as artificial intelligence based. When we are talking a common normal natural language, these kinds of the devices having a chance to recognize the natural language. So that is what we call as fifth generation and its properties. Up to now what we discussed, dear students, these are all some generations of the computer. each and every generation has its own invention and has its own property. Remember, from first generations to fifth generation, what are all the inventions, what are all its properties of the generations. Then here onwards, if we are going to classifications of the computer.